This is me. This is my beloved wife, Sylvia. This is Sylvia's idea of sailing. This is my dream of sailing and my hope of circumnavigating the globe as a retirement project in 2029. This is Sylvia's reaction to that idea.
What? You got a quest?
I am on a 6-year quest to convince Sylvia that a circumnavigation is a wonderful adventure, but the clock is ticking, so join me as I search for the perfect yacht that Sylvia will love, and get all your ladies to subscribe and cheer Sylvia on in the comments. Welcome back to Navel Gazing at Camp David. This whole channel is about convincing my beloved that sailing around the globe as a grand retirement project is a fantastic idea. So each week, we've been focusing on finding a boat that will do the job, making Sylvia comfortable and happy to do the trip with me. Not an easy task with a sophisticated, die-hard city lady. So, I get a boat. Now what? It would take me years to be competent enough or confident enough to actually make the amazing journey on my own. Not to mention Sylvia's significant and not totally unfounded doubts about my sailing skills and mechanical abilities to keep us seaworthy for that long an adventure. Then there's the potential isolation. Neither Sylvia nor I are into that. So what to do? Well, that's exactly what we're examining throughout this mini-series, with episodes sprinkled among our regular reviews. I've compiled a comparison of 2 16-month World Sailing Rallies, 2 30-month sailing rallies, and just for fun, 1 10-month round-the-world cruise done the easy way. This approach solves many of my concerns. In each case, you are with at least 100 like-minded adventurers traveling in the company of 30 to 35 sailing vessels, with much of the guesswork and risk taken out of the equation, and multiple parties throughout the adventure, eliminating any thoughts of loneliness. 2 of these rallies are even manufacturer supported, with specialty support staff traveling with the fleet. I mean, how great is that? In every case, the route is planned for you, many of the arrivals and transits like the Panama Canal are dealt with for you, and there's a friendly support network for you to provide assistance with any challenges. Have a quick look at Sailing Great Circle's experience so far in their rally. Most rallies have pre-sail training availability, and in some cases, specially ladies-only sessions, which is definitely important to Sylvia, who really doesn't want me looking on as she learns the lines. Safety, guidance, and support, and a host of other resources to make the project fun, relaxed, and enjoyable. This episode's rally is the epic 30-month Grand Large World Odyssey. Today, we will look at 1, the organizer details and boat requirements, 2, rally fees involved, 3, we'll examine what's included for your fees, 4, we'll walk through the route plans, and then 5, we'll calculate the total monthly cost and final cost of each rally, including boat depreciation. A new book from best-selling author Dr. Linus Wilson finds that fewer people circle the globe on a sailboat than climb to the top of Mount Everest. In 2013, 658 summited Mount Everest, but Dr. Wilson estimated in his new book, How to Sail Around the World Part-Time, that only about 330 people sail around the world each year. The cost to climb Mount Everest is $30,000 to $160,000 USD, and will take you about 2 months. The cost to circle a globe in a sailboat? Well, stay tuned. I have the whole enchilada for you here. So let's get going. From high above Vancouver, we head east across the continent and the Atlantic all the way to the Mediterranean, the banks of the Tiber near Rome, Italy, and the yards of Comar Yachts, home of last week's future yacht, the Sea Cat 56. From here, we hop a little northwest to the eastern shores of France and the headquarters of the Grand Large World Rally in La Grande Motte. If you recognize this location, you are not alone. It is, of course, home of two of Grand Large Yachting's 5 brands, which include Outremer, Gunboat, Garcia Yachts, Allures Yachting, and RM. Between the 5 yards, the group covers traditional composite hull construction, pure carbon fiber epoxy, aluminum, and the rather unconventional plywood epoxy hulls of RM. The Grand Large World Rally is a manufacturer's organized event, and as such, you must own a Grand Large yacht to participate. In this case, you are blessed with an amazing selection of mono and multi-hulls to choose from, as well as a variety of construction materials broad enough to satisfy any requirement, save for perhaps that of your banker. My assumed vessel for the purpose of the final cost calculation is the Outremer 52 with a crew of 2. Let's jump on board and have a look at this beautiful vessel's exterior, cockpit, saloon, and owner's cabin to eliminate any concerns of roughing it right up front. Now we all know I love the Outremer brand, but this one, oh my goodness, as far as a combination of their style, technology, and a cost that I could afford, this thing is just about perfect. Look here at the cockpit. You've got this beautiful semi-enclosed cockpit with easy access out the aft port, and then your beautiful fold-out table, lots of room. Now, moving into the salon, again, you're not roughing it here. Look at this comfort. Look at the style. I mean, the French do it so beautifully. That coffee table descends to a real coffee table and slides out and then pops up, turns into a full dining table, and then pops down and turns into a full day bed. Beautiful forward-looking nav station there. The owner's hull, they skipped the French rule of minimal clothes here, and there's actually great hanging space in this vessel. Beautiful full beam aft master bed. Of course, it's wall to wall, not my fave. I prefer at least the katana sort of offset with 2-size access. Here's the head. There's lots of room for Sylvia's pharmacy there. There's a beautiful big shower for me, lots of space on the countertop. And then there's this bonus room where all the clothes can be hung, and you can actually have a beautiful place for your washer dryer, and it's not taking up a whole lot of space in the main hulls. So with that out of the way, let's have a look at the actual organizer details. The Grand Large Yachting World Odyssey is by the Grand Large Yachting Inc. group. And again, we've covered off which yachts they and brands they actually have. We've got the website here for you, contact information. The frequency is, I was going to say every 3 years. The next one is actually 2028. And we weren't sure if they were actually going to do a next one, but that has been confirmed. So 2028, so that makes it, I don't know, about every 5 years is what it actually is. The duration is a staggering 31 months. Now, having said staggering, when I talked to Seth from Sailing Family and now HH about world rallies, his comment was, too fast and not enough parties. Well, I think Grand Large has resolved that concern with 31 months, some fantastic private sailing time, up to 30 days in different locations, a real opportunity to see the globe, truly see the globe, and enjoy the locations on a rally of this magnitude. The boat required is a yacht from the Grand Large Group, 39 feet or larger, and the starting point is actually in Seville, Spain. Now, there's a couple of starting points because of the locations of the Grand Large brands, but the official starting point is Seville, Spain. The typical number of vessels is about 35, and the typical number of people is about 100. This was established in 2021. The special features of this are 2 routes, and we'll see where they split off. You've got the tropical route for guys like me, and then for those real hardcore explorers, you've got the southern route, which we'll have a quick look at. Okay, let's have a quick look at the rally fees involved. Heading down the list, you can see it depends on size. We start at 28,000 euros, 30,000 USD for the smaller RMs. Then we get into the Garcias and the Allures at around 45 feet up to 46 feet, between 31,000 euros or 32,006 USD. Then we get into the Garcia Exploration 52, the Allures 51, 52, and we're up to about 34,000 euro. Next we come to the Outremer's, and here of course we're going a little historical too, because you don't have to buy a new boat for these. So you've got Outremer 38 to 43, the Outremer 42, the Outremer 45, and we're looking at 25,000 euros. Next, we get into the more modern Outremer's, the 50 to 55s, and we're looking at a $28,000 fee. The Outremer 45, 34,000, Outremer 49 to 51, 38.5, Outremer 55, 41.5, Outremer 56, 44.5, and then the biggies, the gunboats 60 to 64, the 47.5. Now, with the launch of the new gunboat 80, I guess there'll be a different price point. So let's have a look at what's included here for what you get. You have the Freeport Marina and docking 4 days before the official scheduled start at the main starting points, which would be Seville and the US starting point. You have transit and agent fees for the Panama Canal and local agents in Galapagos, French Polynesia. You have overtime and other fees payable to customs, immigration and quarantine officials when clearing in and out of scheduled ports. So those are on you. Tracking of the individual boats throughout the rally via yellow brick device. Welcome and prize giving parties and other social activities in the scheduled ports, which is exactly what we want. Full-time support for the experience. The GLYWO 500 team, both in the lead up to and during the event. That is a massive, massive value for those of us who are a little more timid. Presentation and skipper's briefing before each start of the official leg, again, very valuable. Technical assistant, qualified GLY service personnel will be present in the Canary Islands, Martinique, Tahiti, Sydney, and Cape Town to provide advice and help with technical matters. I mean, you've got the factory reps right there for you. How fantastic is that? Weather forecasts sent directly to the fleet for each official leg. The GLWO 500 flag, the 500 banner, the souvenir logbook, regular magazines before and during the event, and of course the souvenir plaque. I mean, the things for me that stand out are the prepping and guidance through major events like the Panama Canal, the presence of factory reps at each key major stop, and just the overall experience and guidance and hand-holding of a fantastic group of folks and professionals who understand yachting better than I will ever understand it. So that's it. That's the idea that you're getting, what you're paying and what you're receiving. And the routes you're taking, again, we talked about the three routes, the US, the tropical, and the southern. You can see that they actually start all together in Seville. They meet, they're still together when you hit the Canaries, and at the Canaries there, we split, and we'll talk about that a little further. Okay, for us, we're going to start in Le Grand Mont, because that's where I'm picking up my 52, although I have to prove I can sail the thing for 500 kilometers before that. Le Grand Mont's a fabulous place and home of Outremer and gunboat. From Le Grand Mont, we head down the coast to beautiful Barcelona, where we enjoy some sangria and paella. After a quick stop over there, we head to the official starting location for both initial legs, both the northern and the southern start points, to the official start in Seville. Here, of course, there is much celebration, seminars, provisioning, last minute repairs and tweaks, and then we are off on our adventure. First stop after Seville, we head out past Gibraltar down to the Canaries, and this is where we enjoy the sights and sounds of these exotic islands, and the two legs actually make their split. The southern route being populated with those sturdy adventurers, heading down around the Horn and then up the coast of Africa. But for those of us a little less adventurous, we now make the trek all the way across the Atlantic to our first Caribbean start in Carleste Bay. After enjoying the beauty of this location, we head northwest up and over to La Marine. From La Marine, we make our way well west over to the San Blas Islands, where we enjoy a 30-day independent cruise of this extraordinary cruising ground. Completing our 30-day stint there, we now head further west to Shelter Bay Marina and the start of one of the major components of this round-the-world cruise, the Panama Canal, guided safely through this extraordinary feat of engineering by our wonderful hosts from Grand Large. Exiting the canal, we head over to La Plata Marina, traditional stopping point after you've exited. And from here now, we make the hop southwest all the way down to the Galapagos Islands. After enjoying an adventure in the Galapagos Islands, we head further west over to Isla Isabela and a 5-day independent sail. Completing our 5-day sail, we now backtrack a little bit east over to Puerto Ayora, Isla Santa Cruz. From Isla Santa Cruz, we continue our trek west over to Hiva in the Marquesas. After enjoying the extraordinary Marquesas, we head well southwest all the way down to the Tuamotu Islands. And again, some absolutely extraordinary cruising. From the Tuamotu, we now head north to Tahiti, cruising this beautiful landscape. From Tahiti, we now make the massive trek all the way west to Bora Bora. Enjoying the islands of Bora Bora, we hop further west to Muscat Cove in Fiji, enjoying the best that French Polynesia has to offer. From Fiji, we go almost directly south all the way to New Zealand, where we enjoy a couple of months of interlude in and around the October to January timeframe. Now back in January and back to our boats, we leave New Zealand and head west to the exotic Australian capital, Sydney, Australia. From Sydney, we have an Australian interlude of independent cruising for about 30 days. Needless to say, there's much to see and do. Completing our 30-day Australian interlude, we head over to Noumea, enjoying the sights, sounds, and of course the friendships of all the people that we've gotten to know so well on this adventure so far. From Noumea, we hop a little bit northeast over to Tanna, Vanuatu, and the extraordinary landscapes it has to offer. From Vanuatu, we head northwest to Espiritu Santo. With Espiritu Santo at our stern, we head further west over to the eastern shore of Australia and Mackay Marina. From Mackay Marina, we head all the way up to the Great Barrier Reef, one of the amazing wonders of the world. From our interlude there at the Great Barrier Reef, we head north up to the Thursday Islands. And from the Thursday Islands, we make our getaway over to Indonesia and Sao Melaki, enjoying the culture, sights, sounds, and smells of this extraordinary area. We continue our stay in Indonesia and head further west to Lombok, where we enjoy an independent cruise around this extraordinary environment for about 30 days. From Lombok, we head offshore to Christmas Island and its extraordinary red crabs and a variety of other well-known elements. From Christmas Island, we head over to Cocos Keeling and provision up for the big trek across the wide blue. From Cocos Keeling, we head all the way over to La Reunion, and I am sure there'll be parties aplenty in La Reunion after that transit. From La Reunion, we now head to the eastern shore of Africa and Richards Bay. After enjoying Richards Bay, we move southwest to Cape Town and enjoy all it has to offer. From Cape Town, we head north up to Walvis Bay, and again, this extraordinary piece of landscape. From Walvis Bay, we make the massive Pacific crossing over to Brazil and Salvador Bahia. After recuperating from an amazing crossing, we hop north up the coast of Brazil to Cabedelo. From Cabedelo, we hop south again back to Recife. After a quick interlude there, we head back north to Cabedelo. And then we make a shot northeast up to Fernando de Noronha. After enjoying the sights and sounds of Fernando de Noronha, we make the last large passage of our adventure north, all the way to Horta. After Horta, we take a little hop east over to complete a beautiful Azores cruise. After our Azores cruise, we head to the coast and back to the completion of this amazing journey at Seville in Spain. Again, here we enjoy the celebration and sense of accomplishment with all our friends that we've made over this incredible journey, which again started in Le Grand Mot or Cherbourg, and for those of us on the northern route, headed through the canal, met up again in Tahiti, and as a group, then through Australia, South Africa, Brazil, and back to Seville. So what is the total cost of an adventure like this? Well, let's zoom in on the World Odyssey here and have a quick look. Now, again, for this, I made a whole bunch of assumptions. One is that for a 31-month journey, you'd actually own the boat for 36 months. I have the initial price here. I assume a typical depreciation on a new boat of 10% per year for the first 3 years and 5% per year for each year after that, up to 10. For a used boat, of course, we just accelerate that. We're considering a 3-year-old Outremer, so it's already depreciated 30%, and then 5% each year of our journey. Obviously, that depreciation has been screwed up a fair bit by the whole COVID phenomenon, but by the time I do this, maybe things have settled down again. Monthly maintenance on the monthly maintenance is, again, a whole bunch of assumptions and calculations there. Annual fuel, I looked at what the folks on Great Circle did. I looked at the Atlantic World Rally and sort of made a guesstimate there. Cost, by the time this recording's out, that may be higher than that. So assumptions on monthly fuel costs, but overall it's all relative. The meals and entertainment per month, I put it $2,000. It depends on what you do. 3-year depreciation calculates out on the new boat at $433,000, and on the used boat at $166,000. So your total per month. So your total per month with a new boat is $24,563.44, with a total rally cost of $761,466.67 after you factor in all of the rally fees and the boat costs and the depreciation. For a 3-year-old, it's $14,000 a month with a total rally cost of $438,000. Now, that's not the total cost because, of course, you're not at home. You don't have a lot of those home-related expenses, so let's back those out. So looking at my assumptions here, I assume that your monthly vehicle cost, if you're sitting at home, is about $1,000 a month. Your insurance, your meals and entertainment, obviously you're not dead, you're retired, so you are doing stuff when you're at home. You're going to have an annual vacation, vacations if you're not doing this amazing rally. So I factored in a budget for that. Monthly housing costs that, assuming you sell your house and buy this boat, you don't have. So your total trip offset is about $192,000 for the 3 years. This now brings your net monthly rally cost on the new 52 to $18,000, or a total rally cost of $569,000. If you go the 3-year-old route, you're looking at a rally cost a monthly of about $8,000 and a total rally cost of about $250,000. So, how does this all compare if we look at the other rallies we're considering? Well, if you look at the World Arc, again, there I'm looking at a 60-foot mono or a 50-foot cat, and if it's new, it's going to cost me $355,000. If it's a 3-year-old, it's going to cost me $150,000. Skipping over the World Yacht Rally, which we haven't looked at, let's have a quick look then at the World Odyssey. So, World Odyssey is about $569,000 for the new one, or about $250,000 for the used one. So, it's about, the World Arc is about 60% of that cost. If we go to the Oyster World Rally, we're looking at $1.2 million for a brand new boat and about $500,000 for a 3-year-old boat. So again, the Oyster World Rally is about twice what the World Odyssey would be. So you've got the World Arc at $355,000 for a new one versus the World Odyssey at $569,000 for a new one versus the Oyster World Rally at $1.2 million for a new one. Now, look, I'm probably not going to buy a new boat unless I win the lottery. So I'm looking at $250,000 net for a 3-year journey that is probably the most extraordinary thing I will ever do in my life, with lifelong relationships and a lifetime worth of memories. $250,000. It doesn't take long to burn through that in retirement if you're really trying to keep yourself busy. I don't know about you, but if I've got the money, I can sell a house, I can sell a car, I can sell a cottage, I do it. I think it's an absolutely extraordinary value, and especially on a guided manufacturer's tour like this, where all of your worries, well, at least 90% of your worries are eliminated and your fears are averted because you've got help around every corner. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this week's circumnavigation with me. Quite an adventure. As you can tell, I'm quite jazzed by the whole thing. Next time we do this, we'll be doing the World Yacht Rally, which is another biggie. It's another 31 months, but it is not manufacturer sponsored, so whatever boat you own, as long as it's 50 feet or more, you can do it. Stay tuned, and next week we're back on board another boat, and we'll sprinkle in the World Yacht Rally a little later on. Have a great week, and we'll see you later. Cheers.